My name is Wolf, and today we are back with Our Life Beginning and Always with Derek's Epilogue. I'm gonna miss you so much. You are flattered.
Yes.
Yes, we are. Hens and Hens, the two wonderful people who raised your amazing friend, smiled over at you. You got to enjoy a little more quality time with Mr. and Mrs. Suarez. Eventually, they requested a moment with their eldest child, likely to share the same sentimental matters with them. That wasn't something you'd stand in the way of, and made room for the two to go have special parent-child chat. You checked in on your parents. Your parents remained at the dinner table, sipping on their water bottles, and pretending to be nonchalant. They'd sent too many fervent glances between you and Liz to be convincing. Hello, sweetie.
Hey.
Hey, welcome over.
How are you?
What's happening? What?
How are you?
He just sounds a lot quieter now. Hi. I just wanted to see how you were doing. Great.
How sweet.
Aw, we've been having a wonderful time. I know this trip was for you and Derek, but I'm still grateful Pam and I could be here a little. Ma wrapped an arm around Mom with a light chuckle. Mom leaned her head gently into her wife, and they both beamed. Time together is more important than time apart. Every bit counts. Well said. I love you all. Us too, kiddo. Absolutely. But thanks. Mom wrapped you in a big hug. Then you fell away of another person in her arms. You realized Mr. Holland got pulled in too. Your parents held you tight for another minute before letting go. Like Derek before them, they didn't intend to monopolize you forever. You left them to their own amazing company and drifted back towards the front of the living room. You walked around the room, made your rounds, and had a few minutes to yourself. You used to think and reflect. There was a lot to consider. Life was barreling forward for you. Unfortunately, no inner peace or full understanding of the universe came while you zoned down the corner. Perhaps a consolation, as you were rewarded with Derek returning to you after finishing his talk with Mr. and Mrs. Suarez, and he had an idea.
So?
Hey, wanna go to the balcony, get some fresh air? Same as he did when he first parted ways with you. Derek pointed the left, most crucial part of his motivation instead. This might be the last time you had a chance to be alone together before you had to go. That sounds nice, Derek. Cool. You quietly went to the sliding glass panels at one end of the living room, but progress halted. Arms folded, Derek stared at the closed door as an impassable wall. Aren't you gonna get that for me? You strangled a laugh. That was something you should have seen coming. It was what you wanted. Of course, Derek would end up letting you have it. You accepted the button at the front of the door handle and opened it. After you?
Thank you.
Why, thanks, Callie. Derek passed on with his head held high. He followed right after. The event was still alive with small pockets of conversation. You and Derek managed to slip away without notice. As soon as you walked out, a warm evening breeze caressed your body. It carried the sharp scent of the ocean and the delicate perfume of flowers who made their own home at Derek's place. Derek ignored the one lonely chair on the veranda and rested up against the rail, exactly as he did the first time. On the horizon, the sea gleamed like molten gold, encasing a city of silver. He leaned against the railing too. Out here, he had his spot and you had yours. All was as it should be. The seemingly endless expanse in front of you, with nothing more than a few thin bars between you and it, was a welcome sight. With you both settled in, Derek grinned as if it was any other day, Or rather, because he couldn't help smiling at you no matter the circumstances. Callie, I owe you an apology. Or at least an explanation. No. Both. He blinked. If there was one thing you could count on, it was that Derek Suarez wouldn't do you wrong. Not intentionally, anyway. Huh? About what? Well, that's obvious. I'd asked you to marry me in a way, and I almost didn't realize that this was the year it was supposed to happen. How inconsiderate can I get? That outburst sapped him of all energy. Derek's shoulders slumped, and his tone dropped even lower.
It's been a long time.
We'd been apart for a long time. Looks like I was in denial about how long. Days, weeks, months, and years just went by before I even knew it. It couldn't be the deadline already. I thought, no way. Especially not with how grown up I'd felt, and how non-figured out everything was. But it was true. The summer when we were 23 was the year I had picked. Is it a good or bad timing that marriage pact plan coincided with my career crisis? I don't know. The rhetorical question lingered. Then a bit of humor returned to Derek's darkened features. Actually, I do. It is for the best. Actually, I do. It is for the best that all happened now. We could work the whole mess out in one. Though, that was also part of why I lost sight of things. I don't want you to think that meant nothing because of it.
I swear.
It's not that it didn't matter to me. It mattered so much that I couldn't even face it. I had to run away. Derek almost cracked from the self-imposed pressure. His voice did break. Asking you to marry me, if there was no one else, wasn't one of those wild, impulsive stunts I pull sometimes. I really thought it through, though. I know. I really thought it through. As in, I thought through all the ways I could maybe be with you, without daring just to ask you to be with me.
The truth is,
I hinged a lot of hopes on that plan, but it was wishful thinking to see it as a solution. It doesn't work that way. His gaze parted from yours. He had nothing in particular to take his attention, so Derek was simply staring straight ahead. It was fun, testing our compatibility ahead of the deadline, but I would like to kindly suggest both parties agree to end the contract.
sorry.
I don't want my life to be based on something like that. It isn't right. Derek looked at you again through wistful lidded eyes. It was the beginning of almost being fiancés. I read the line where the beginning was. It was the end of being almost fiancés. That meant, however, it was the beginning for a new dynamic. You're right, we should date for real.
Are you serious?
Whoa, really? It's that easy? I psyched myself up to be really convincing and brave and all that. And Derek slowly rolled his hands together in a silent clap. He nodded and met them again and again, unsure of what to do with himself. Alright. The last word fell out of his still gaping mouth. It was truly adorable. You couldn't leave him hanging like that. Wait, I want to hear what you were still going to say. He recovered himself, closing his lips and separating his palms to scratch at the side of his head. Well, I can do that for you, especially since I already know how it's going to go well. Derek rolled his shoulders, then stretched his neck from side to side, and lastly he put it on his game face. Callie, that's something I've thought about for a long time, even before we made the deal. I'm listening. Thank you. But first, I've actually got something else to say.
You're seriously great.
It's that you're incredible, and I can always count on you. And when we get to be together, it's some of the best moments of my life. Doing chores and running errands, making me feel so much less shitty over how I quit. And I can also mention really quick how cool it was that you cared about me and what I was thinking, instead of pointing out that I was irresponsible or wasted such great opportunity. And that was a big deal to me. But the small things matter too. You stayed up even later to help me when I absolutely had to put those groceries away right then. You insisted on putting together the game stuff so I could take it easy for a little. And you always gotta try to take the door opening move away from me. You laughed without reservation, talking about you had a way of bringing out his boyish enthusiasm. Then, on top of all of that, you're good to my family too. Even when we get dramatic and have our issues. They're a major part of my life. Always will be. So, seeing how you get along with them is... well, let's say it tips the scale for this even more. A special something danced inside his bright green eyes. He embraced fully what he was actually doing. The truth is, his words had already moved you deeply before taking the ultimate plunge. He threaded his fingers with yours to help ground you. He threaded his fingers with yours to help ground the both of you. I wouldn't want us to be together because there was no one else. But because there is no one else.
I love you.
I love you, Callie. The old feelings you held on to since the original day of the deal, and even before that, were as alive as ever. I want to be with you. I also kinda liked having that deal, you laughed. Oh, okay. We can have both. Honestly, it's nice that a backup plan can still live on, even though we're dating each other for real. Maybe you and me will break up before the end of summer, still be single, and then the deal will get us back together. Perfect. Whew! In the thrill of the moment, Derek's excitement got the better of him. He leapt into the air, bounced from one end to the other and back twice, and finally landed himself directly in front of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me get that out. Derek beamed at you with his most confident, dazzling grin. And, now that I think about it, we should do something to seal this new deal. His eyes were alight. For one example, I could kiss you. I like that. He took your hands into his without hesitation. You gripped him back and leaned closer. He met you halfway. Your lips touched, first lightly, then with more certainty, more desire. His were able to pull up at the ends the entire time. The first time you ever kissed Derek was that day, hanging out in the old park and making plans for the future, as well as you could then, by making the backup deal. It was still important, but this one, a reciprocal kiss born of mutual affection, was the best one you had experienced. However, you had a feeling there were many choices to outdo it in the days, weeks, and years to come. A freshly official couple enjoyed the comfort of each other's presence in bliss. It was the very first breath of your true relationship. And then the swooping sound snatched your attention away from Derek. The sliding door had been opened. The youngest son skipped in as if invited, and the middle child followed after. Clary was less cheeky, but equally unrepentant. Hi, Derek. Hi, Callie. Hello. What's going on? Derek flung his head back in a groan. He let go of you with the begrudging frustration of a teenage boy caught canoodling under the bleachers by the teacher. Not again. Every damn time. There's no privacy anywhere, even in my own house. Hey. Nicholas handled the childish display of his unearned airs of maturity. His voice was tall, and he cut the accusing finger through the air. You're the one who invited us over. If you wanted to be alone with Callie, why did you throw a party with several other people? That was a strong point. Well, as for Derek, Clary had an even better one. Honestly confused by his big brother's reaction, he plainly stated key consideration. This whole side of the apartment is glass. We could see everything happening without opening the door. Coming over feels more polite to me than watching from inside. At that, Derek snorted a laugh. He was less ashamed of what you were doing than Nicholas was for interrupting
I
it.
see how it is.
Fine. It makes sense to get together one more time before they left. But I'm regretting being so reasonable now. One of these days, we might learn to be more self-centered. And then you'll be sorry.
Sorry.
I kind of doubt that. The part of you ever being selfish, not us being sorry over it. Yeah, sorry, bro. That's not happening. I guess. Knock. Knock, knock. We're gonna be even weird. Oh, don't be mad, Derek. I'm happy having Clary and Nico around. Yeah. Take that, Derek. Callie likes all the stars, man.
Thanks.
Thanks, Callie. See, this is the real reason why I can never be spoiled. These two hug that kind of attention. Oh my god, my phone's charger cable just tangled itself up. The fuck? Stop doing that, please. Just want to charge you. But that couldn't be the end of it. Trouble came in threes. Your own sibling appeared from behind. She leaned against the doorway, leering at the scene. Romancing out in the open while all your siblings and parents were right there. I had no idea the two of you were so indulgent. One rotten apple spoiled the rest. Nicholas and Clary had originally barged in with pure intentions of being with you. Now they were snickering over Liz's jabs at your and Derek's expense. I'm a bad influence on him. I think it's a good kind of bad influence. Of course, this happened. Why expect anything else? That's what Derek's wryly lifted brows seemed to express. You know, we were just talking about how self-absorbed I am. And that's not enough in my opinion. From even further in the house, Mr. Suarez waved a hand, popped up over your sister's head. It's okay, we're fine on our It's okay, we're fine on our own. Enjoy your time together. Your parents were bursting in laughter, and effectively trying to model that staying quiet would have been less destructive than joining in on the situation.
Really?
Oh, really? Wait, what? Yeah.
Really?
Dad, your trouble estimates were proven to be highly underestimated. It didn't come in threes. It came in as many amounts as physically possible. Mrs. Suarez came to get her husband, clearing a path through Liz, Clary, and Nicholas.
Excuse me.
Excuse us. She escorted him back to the couch without fuss, but no amount of cordialness on her end could smooth out this three-ring circus. Derek barely saw the retreating forms of his abashed parents, or your mom's and Mr. Holden's giggling fit in the distance, or even a set of siblings watching and waiting for what would happen next. His arms were folded, and his brain was working. You and he become the center of the universe, and that wouldn't do. In the end, Mr. Reliable himself went for his oldest, most reliable situation to awkward situations. Hey, look over there!
What?
And what? While the others were clearly distracted by Derek's fantastic boy, said Mastermind stood nearer to you and whispered intently. Run! You nodded imperceptibly to everyone but Derek, whose focus was set entirely on seeing that gesture. You both knew what had to be done. Your hand found his, and his yours, without tearing your eyes from the target and escape route. Out the front! You dashed through the opening left by Mrs. Suarez, speeding by Liz before she could block the way again. The elders were shocked, the younger ones were shouting, but you didn't stop. Through the gap in the sliding glass door, past the couches, and out of the apartment's entrance. You and Derek ditched the whole party in a blink. Together you flew down the stairs. There was no patience waiting for an elevator. Once on the ground level, you exploded through the last set of doors in your path and onto the sidewalk, leaving laughter and joy in your wake. You may have escaped this building, but who knew if they'd follow you out? That wasn't something you put past your siblings. The hand gripping yours still held tight. Derek encouraged you along, beaming wide. Let's go! Let's go! You jokingly mimicked. Friends, lovers, and partners in crime, formal conditional fiancés, no matter the circumstances, you and Derek were always a team. And together, you were unstoppable. In Derek's bright eyes, you saw reflections of your past. The first day you'd met, when he bounded up to you, so unafraid. The time he much less bravely bolted from the very cross Elizabeth. And the moment you arrived in Prism City bus station, such a short and long time ago, when he came running for you. Each happy moment you experienced became only a memory of what used to be, and that's what life was. And it was okay. Right then, you were running side by side. You wouldn't take it for granted. You wouldn't waste the chance. Instead, you would keep going for as long as your feet could carry you. As it should be. You and Derek took another step forward, and then another. Forward and forward and forward, down the glistening city street, and towards the rest of your lives. And that is the end of this DLC. Thank you for being here, people. It was amazing having you all around, sticking for the long, tedious times, but if this is where you wish to end our story, that is perfectly okay for me. However, it is not the end for me, unfortunately. I have another several hours to go. And this time, with Cove. And then, Baxter. So feel free to go watch theirs. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now!